Hi everyone, I'm about to get started now, and this evening's topic is on abundance mastery. I created this program many years ago in 2002 and have been delivering it for a long time since. And then I created other programs to replace it. And I've been called recently to both resurrect and revamp it so that I can fulfill a vision that I've held for more than 40 years. And that vision is abundance for all. And it can't come at a better time. I've been posting a great deal on climate change. It is the most dire existential threat to humanity, to all of us so far. And I've been writing about this in a book as well since March this year. And what it is basically is that it actually presents us the greatest opportunity ever in all our human lifetimes to turn things around so completely and to rise up and thrive en masse. We actually need this crisis before we would get going and correct things. Otherwise, we're going to go on as usual and everything's going to fall apart, and we're going to deplete the earth and we're going to decimate ourselves in the process. The thing is, people have been coming to me for a quarter of a century to help them make money, get great jobs, have great relationships, find great partners, both business and personal, get married, etc. I've helped people do all of that, manifest or materialize great homes and, the works in all kinds of material things, external things. And yet, let's say, for example, I've helped somebody make 3 to 4 million US dollars. So it was great, he was happy for a while, but then he had to focus on getting his health in order, getting his personal life in order, and that wasn't so easy for him. So what is it? What is the point that I really want to drive home here? You can go after all of these things because we are in the human body and in the physical world. But at the end, the greatest abundance that you can have is you, is yourself, your true self. And unless we have that, the money can disappear, the relationship can be dissolved, the house, the car, the business, the job, everything can also disappear. And then what? Sometimes none of it disappears, but you're not happy. So the greatest abundance really is finding ourselves and being our greatest selves. Right? What do you think? I'd like to take some questions from you right now. Some comments, and then I'll answer them directly. I mean, I've almost finished the book. It will be sold via my website. I'm not bothering to look for a publisher at this point in time. I just want to get the information out there about how vital it is to look at the big picture, to look at what is it that is really going to make us happy. Firstly, I will definitely help you get the money, get the man or woman, get the job or business, conscious business preferably, whatever it is that is your human desire. But I will also lead you back to yourself, to your greatest self. And that is the real treasure. In fact, to all of the treasures within you. So that you can have the joy, the bliss, and know that you are a true creator. Does that make sense to you? I've spent so many years doing this. And now is the time when we actually can and will all rise and thrive. Not at once, but in waves. And it begins with us. It begins with us where we, hi Vicky, it begins with us where we are. I see there are 2 comments and I didn't see them as usual and I'm looking for them. Okay. How can I stay in abundance when difficult things happen? Thank you, Christina. Mariam, I still struggle with clarity within myself in the last couple of years. I've been very unclear about what I really want. Can you please help with that? Yes, certainly. Hi, Ellie, you're here. That's okay, Vicky. Okay. All right. One question at a time. Let's start with Christina. How can I stay in abundance when difficult things happen? Christina, we are all abundance itself. And what does that mean? When we, as I've taught you and others who are my clients, when we step into our soul self, when we step into consciousness itself, how do you feel? You know how you feel. You're being your expanded self, right? Yes, I understand, Vicky. I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay. When we are our expanded self, there is absolutely no lack whatsoever. Am I right? Am I right, Christina? There's not any feeling of lack. You feel safe, you feel invincible, you feel that everything is perfect exactly as it is. You feel that nothing is impossible. And yeah, the human self needs to be patient to get what he or she wants. But as soul and as consciousness, there's no need even for patience. There's what we call, as you know, divine patience, because that kind of patience lacks nothing. You know, you're not waiting for something. That kind of patience is very comfortable with divine timing, right? Because when we are soul, when we are consciousness, we are whole, we are complete. It's only when we are our human self that we fret, that we worry, that we fear. So the solution really is to merge with our soul self, with consciousness itself, with pure consciousness, and bring that greatness, that true power into our daily lives. That's it. Okay, that is true abundance. And then the true strength, the true joy emerges and stays and can expand more and more. And then we never coming from lack. You know, it's such a major human thing, this whole subject of not enoughness, where you don't feel you're good enough in the first place, or that you're enough for something or the other. And then, yeah, the inadequacy, you know, not measuring up somehow, right? And life throws us things which brings it up, just so that we can finally surrender and be our true selves. And that's it. You know, and the thing is, we have to pay attention, because we have not, as humans, we have not paid enough attention, and we have messed up our physical world and have arrived at this point when really climate change is a mega threat. People have no idea and are still going on business as usual. And we will have to wake up. I promise you, we will have to wake up, all of us, okay? One wave after another. And life will push us to do this, whether we like it or not. We can have in our minds ideas about how we want to do it. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to work. You can try to escape it. You can try to avoid it. You can try to feel better for the moment. And ultimately, you're going to have to face it sooner or later. We all do. None of us are exempted. And if we are meant to be part of the first wave and to lead, which most of you are, then we have to face all of this right now. We have to get past all these mental constructs that we have, the programming that we have. And no one is better than the other. No one is good and the other one is bad. None of that. It's just that this is whatever we're dealing with is part of the programming. A, B, it's our path. It's our personal destiny. And okay, now I'm going to answer Mariam's question, which is, I still struggle with clarity within myself. In the last couple of years, I have been very unclear about what I really want. Mariam, you've just recently only joined the journey home and you've started using the globe. You're going to have great clarity. The more you use it, the more the clarity comes. You already had a big clearing just a week or so ago. At the end of June, and things have occurred already. Just keep going. I would actually, from all that I can tell, I would actually promise you magic and miracles, but you have to stay the course, you have to do the inner work, you will have to fully embrace the process, which I feel that you would, and keep going. And then you'll be making a big difference in the future. You know, whenever it's meant to happen, it will happen. I'm not concerned about that. I feel very strongly that you will do very well, actually. Okay? Just don't get in your own way. There are times when I have facilitated things for people and then they are still combating great fears within themselves, and then it becomes very hard for them, you know. Still part of the process, but I'm urging people to not make it so hard for themselves. That's all. And I say this with all love for everyone. Vicky, I have good days, but then money issues arise and I get sad or upset again. Then you start all over again, Vicky. Okay? It's bound to happen. There are layers and layers of stuff that we are letting go of. And these energies are relentless. And I promise you again, they will get even more relentless. Okay? So there is only, in that sense, there's only one path. And that path is to fully collaborate with this process and to love and support ourselves so hugely that we let go of the resistance more and more. And more, Vicky, you will have good days, better days than the not so good days. The not so good days will be reduced. You know, I mean, I've gone through this process for ages. And let's say this year compared to last year, you know, at this time with the eclipses, I'm doing so much better physically, you know, than I did last year. And I'm doing a major liver detox with the celery juice. It's going very well. At first it was like, you know, maddening because of all the rashes. But I can tell you I feel great, and which is why this is the first time in a few months that I'm resuming Facebook Lives. And I listened, I tuned in and listened to my own body and listened to my inner self and knew that it was necessary for me to take some steps back and not do any of this public stuff for a while. And then now I'm ready to go. You know, I'm ready to deliver Abundance Mastery, first level 1 in early August, and then following that level 2. And people can repeat level 1 and 2 as often as they like, because each time they will be going deeper and you're going to take as much time as you need for yourself, for your own process. Okay, so I've created that way. And the idea is that as you shift, and first, level one is firstly about taking care of the physical stuff. Physical stuff meaning what is outside of ourselves, although the process is an inside out process. It begins with going within and clearing stuff. Okay, but it's to help you get the money, get the man, get the girl, get the job, get the business, whatever you need or want. Okay, we have to satisfy the human self, but there comes a time when you really then need to focus on the expansion, on the further expansion of the inner self, and that's all there is to it. Okay, Christina, I have this great feeling only during the meditation and come bring it into my human life. Then you simply have to surrender more. Remember, Christina, that not so long ago, you felt great. You felt miracles were taking place. Okay, so what happens is, with the spiral, as you go up, the spiral dips down. Okay, so this is a dipping down before you go up again. Okay, and it just means you're ready to look at another deeper layer. Okay, because even when things were fabulous for you, and you felt life was miraculous, there were underlying things. There are always a whole lot of underlying things. That's just how it is. That's just the packaging with which we came. Okay, there are many layers that we need to clear. We are great spiritual beings, having lived human lifetimes of hardship and challenge and fear and poverty and scarcity, the whole works, where we've gone through a lot of trauma, and it's in our energy field. And that energy field has to be completely cleared again and again and again. And the more we surrender to the process, the more we stop resisting, the more we allow this true greatness to emerge from within us, the more everything is going to fall into place beautifully. The faster it will. Okay? Does that answer your question, Christina? And Miriam, you're most welcome. I have every faith in you. Vicky, honestly, Vicky, I feel that the celery juice process will help big time, and that you simply have to keep going with it, for as long as you need, right? I've been doing it for months now, and it's only in the last month or so that it's really pushing out stuff that is deep, very deep with it, Okay, and I've eaten clean mostly for a long time, but we're carrying all kinds of things, from the Epstein-Barr virus, which is very, very common, to God knows what else, As we unpollute ourselves, we're going to unpollute our oceans, our lands, all of this planet. And that's how we're going to make major transformation for ourselves, for all of humanity, and for this beautiful planet, which we have done great damage to at many levels. I mean, till today, there are whales being killed, people who are unaware of plastic pollution, or they are aware and they don't care. And we're not judging anybody. We're not finger pointing at anyone. Let's just take responsibility for ourselves and what we do in our daily lives. This entire process is about this return to purity, true purity, absolute purity. And it has to be a process. As I repeat, I will reiterate that I'm here to help you fulfill the desires at the physical level, whether it's money or work or business or relationship. Those things definitely have to be taken care of. But it's not just about that. And it cannot be just about that, because that's not enough. It's never been enough, right? But nobody's bothered. Nobody, meaning not enough of us, have bothered. And now we are pushed to the edge. Now we are being made to look at what we need to do, or not only will we personally suffer, we will decimate ourselves and deplete this planet. And if you love yourself, if you love your life, if you love your children, if you love your grandchildren, if you are thinking in terms of generations to come, you can't do that. Oh, okay, more questions. I always forget this. Good, Vicky. You must keep at it. And for everything we do, we need to keep at it. Okay, and as I wrote for those who are members of Journey Home, sometimes the process is about, one step forward and 2 steps backward, right? Or we rise up and then we seem to fall down. So get up again, keep going again, right? You are invincible. We all are invincible. You're not going to be so easily destroyed, I can assure you. And even when we die, we step fully into our light body. And in fact, now we have the opportunity while we are alive to be fully in our light body more and more. Christina, can you please explain how to surrender even more? Surrendering even more, Christina, means letting go of the human mind and how the human mind thinks and how the human mind works and how the human mind needs to control things. Okay, the more you surrender to being your soul self, to being consciousness itself, you have experienced how beautiful it is being soul, being consciousness. You can create an intention to say that I'm one with soul, I'm one with pure consciousness. And you know what to do without me spelling out the process, because this video will be shared publicly as well. You simply have to increasingly fulfill that intention, and you know how to do that. Okay, it's the same like with every intention. Okay, it's the way we're doing it is a lot more than an intention. What you're doing is, and this is part of the abundance mastery process, what we're doing is we are getting you, or all of each one of us, to line up with whatever that our heart desires. And the lining up, the alignment, means arising up to be in total resonance with that which our heart and soul desire. Does that make sense? You know all this already. right? And that's it. Okay, I can't see any more questions. Hi, Chong Che, how are you? So glad you joined us. And the idea is to get to the point where we are so much of our expanded self that we want to share ourselves. We want to serve humanity because